Innovationsenergien.
Welcome to our first exhibitors briefing for EuroTier and Energy Decentral in Hanover from 15th to 18th November 2022. We are taking today's opportunities with this live stream to give you some tips, to answer some questions, to give you some points to address within your preparations towards the trade fair. This briefing is recorded and will be made available for your on-demand views afterwards. I'm supported today by my colleague Chris Armstrong. Chris is working within the EuroTier team as a sales manager. Some of you might have been in touch. He will answer the questions from within the chat and also address them to me directly so that I can implement them into this briefing. Getting started, our first registration phase for EuroTier has already closed. We are in the final preparations before sending out stand confirmations. Over 80% of the volume and floor space is already sold. We are welcoming more exhibitors as we speak every day, and we are looking forward to prepare and are already in the process of preparing a great event with lots of highlights and lots of topics for you at EuroTier in November. We have 2 more dates for exhibitor briefings already planned on the 9th of June and on the 30th of June, and will work on the topics being flexible as we speak and always address the most frequently asked questions by you, our exhibitors. Getting started into our first briefing of today, I would like to start with a short intro of participation goals. It is important to have goals in lives and in business. So if you look at it at the perspective of what is a goal for an exhibitor, for you as exhibitors, what are visitors' goals, you see here in this table that they differ. Whilst exhibitors are looking forward to care for their customers, to attract new clients, to raise awareness, visitors, when visiting a trade fair, are mostly interested in new information made available for innovations, generic market information, orientation, education, and advanced training. So this is my first tip of today's briefing. Keep that in mind when preparing for your appearance at EuroTier. Keep in mind your customer. Who are you talking to and who would you like to talk to when coming to Hanover? As just said, registration is already a check or in the process. Now we are all entering into the second planning phase. The trade fair concept of what is your message, how do you outline your visitor marketing, what is your communication campaign looking like. I will also talk briefly about our communication concept, and then later on we'll let you know a little bit more on our media package that is already available for you automatically, how to best put it into practice and to get the most out of it. For stand construction in this initial phase, now after receiving stand confirmations at the end of May, get your ideas about what is your concept, what would you like to communicate, and in case you shall need any help or assistance, please feel free to contact our colleagues at DLG International at exhibitions@dlg.org. Getting started, once arrived at the fair, first day of the trade show, doors open, visitors are coming in. Now it is our job as organizers and our job simultaneously with all of you, the exhibitors, to get the visitors, to get the farmers to the venue. Make sure we communicate all together well enough to really highlight this event towards the end of the year as the highlight of the season. Once in the venue, however, it is then your job, it is your goal to lead the visitors to visit your booth and your stand, to talk to your staff members and your team. How to do that best is what I would like to show you a few best practice examples now. And getting started, because still not over yet, some recommendations on how to deal with corona measures at present. At present, there is no access restrictions. So at present, everyone is welcome to come in, and that is going forward. We'll still recommend to wear a mask, to apply hygiene measures, and to keep a minimum safety distance. The entire safety business and the entire concept can be found on our website, always available for you, to give you tips how to prepare, for example, catering at your stand, what to look out for, what to watch out for. Everything is possible, so just get in here for specific questions that you might have with relations to the corona measures. The catering, as I just said, is possible as it was always. You are free to do whatever concept you may have thought of in the past, and I think we have our first question already coming from the chat. Is that right, Chris?
That's absolutely right. Our exhibitors would like to know, when it comes to stand design, and I know you're going to talk about it a little bit more, what would be a deadline by which they should send us as organizers the first drafts for stand design to get our input or feedback and suggestions?
The sooner the better, because then we are able to advise and we're able to play some ideas back and forth. I will just, as I said, show you a few pictures of best practices of what we have seen so far this year that has proven really to be a good idea. But in case you're not sure or you haven't been planning event, a trade fair participation for quite some time now, contact us directly and let's just chat about your ideas and what we might think and how we can advise to navigate you through the process. Okay, getting started. Lots of things going on at the same time here in this picture that was taken at SIA in Paris earlier this year. And for me, a perfect example of impressive long-distance effects that just raise the attention. There's so much going on. There is not a chance that any person coming through the door into this hall is missing that booth, because it is just so bright, it is so visible. There is this cow, there's this milk bottle, there's plenty of logos going on, and then there is even this brick framed sold to the right that is just attracting eye contact. So visitors are curious and getting more and more curious to find their way through the hall and visit and find out what's going on here. So that could be my first tip of the day. Impressive long-distance effects, make yourself visible. It doesn't have to be with a hanging construction. It can be any flags from the bottom. It can be something bright, something moving, just something that shows visitors coming through the door where you are. Also to be seen here on this picture of Patura, there is a great usage, a great interpretation of how to use space available. They are creating their own interspaces with their exhibits. So that way you are showing a lot, you're inviting people into your stand, onto your stand, to touch, feel, and finally get into a discussion with your team, to get to know one another, to find out what you might be able to do for them to help those clients. Same idea, just a different, little bit of a different interpretation for a different trade show. This is Anuga Food Tech just last week. You can see again impressive long distance effects, yeah, with the light and with the logo. Everyone knows exactly what's happening here and finds Marel's stand easily, whilst the products, the machinery displayed here are again located with great space between one another, so they are inviting for visitors, for farmers to step onto the stand, to have a look around, to tour through the stand and to browse a little bit. The entire concept is quite open and airy, and that is another recommendation that we are able to make. So create lots of air room, try not to stick to hooded stand concepts that are keeping it dark. It also makes airflow a little bit more difficult, and we have great high halls in Hanover, so we're able to keep outside air quality within the halls, and that would be perfect if that was also available throughout your stand concept. Next, this is Anuga Food Tech as well. What we can see here is a sort of like a longer stand, and they're using that machine of a short product line. Basically, it's moving, machines moving, doing a sound also always helps making people stop, raising more attention, gaining awareness. So the visitors here are standing on the aisle, just taking a look, getting in touch with your team, getting in a chat, and then behind the production line here, there is the speaking corners where you can sit down on a table, have a chat, and get more into a private, intimate speaking setting. Different concept, also well done. You have great visibility, you have pictures, you're emotionalizing, you have animals and kids. That is always catching people's eyes, so make sure you work with some eye catchers as well. And then we have here lots of space, again, as inviting as possible for people not to only stand by, but also to follow you onto the stand, to sit down, to have a conversation. When planning towards the event, stay flexible. Yeah, how much furniture you need, how much interspace you want. Just stick with rentals, and you can always add more or cancel some of the already planned furniture as well. Multiple contact points just offer more space, and members of the team are easily to find their way to sit down with more and new customers as well. And last but not least, events. An event within an event is always even one more reason for people to stop by. It is great for beforehand communication, for you to really get things going, to make sure everyone knows about what you're planning, or if you're just playing something at the day, at the venue. So just think of anything that you might be able to talk about, products, or highlight something, do a technical speech, or just maybe do a networking event that gathers people around, inviting them to come over. That way you're easily raising awareness prior to the trade show, prior to EuroTier, but you're also raising appearance of bystoppers, of people that are in the venue just because they are there. They will stop and they will stop by. Everything is within our mobile app, so you can even post it into the official trade show calendar to make sure everyone there knows about it, stops by, and then have your team being approachable and convert more visitors into more leads. Afterwards, great events at such trade shows where there's lots of press and media around that are also invited to your event, of course. We'll write about it, we'll talk about it on social, on the print, on every possible channel that you can think of. If you prepare it correctly and if you have a good format, then the options and chances are limitless to what you want to achieve from your participation at the trade show. This is another example, small scale, very regional, little fair in Leipzig. They had something going on all day. People were stopping by with their kids, people were getting in touch, people were just talking. So the moment something is happening at the stand, people will stop by and you will attract more onlookers. And then it is up to you to train your team and to approach onstoppers, to approach clients, get in touch, find out what it is that you can do for them or how you may be able to collaborate in the future. So as you can see, just some very quick examples on what you could do to attract more visibility, to attract more reach, and to gain more leads at the event. Stand parties is something that we're getting asked about quite a lot. So in case you are planning or thinking about maybe hosting a stand party, get in touch with us directly and we'll be able to find out on what could be a good format for you and what could be advised on which dates. And at this point, I think we have more questions from our chat.
We do, but we're going to cover that in the next section.
Okay.
So I think it would be good to get going with that and then cover the questions in the next
Perfect.
round.
Thank you very much, Chris. So at that point, I'm jumping quickly into communication campaigns. It is us as event organizers that obviously we are communicating the event extensively on a global scale with lots of print and web and partner networks and campaigns, but we are also putting a quite good European focus on things into the market leaders, into the countries of agriculture within Europe to attract the best possible visitors quality for you at the event. But it is also a common achievement of everyone, of you, of the exhibitors as well, to jump onto that communications campaign, do your own communications campaign, because word travels by mouth and one person that you reach will talk to the next, and that way all of us together just getting the maximum output from everything that we want to achieve in November in Hanover. In order for us to always keep our focus straight, and since we last met at EuroTier in 2018, and that was quite a while ago, to be honest, lots of things changed in the meantime, not only for the world, but also for our industry and for you. So we are doing our service now prior to the show as well as at the show as well. For us to always focus our communication campaigns, we would like to know what are your current and what are your prospective target markets, which clients, which markets are you trying to enter in, so that we can navigate our communications campaign if we feel that that has changed and that we would like to pinpoint here a little bit better, but also what topics are important for you as a company preparing for the event. What topics would you like us to display at EuroTier? So when we're sending out this survey as a mail, please participate and give us your feedback. It is really helpful to make EuroTier as good as we possibly all can. The same thing we're doing for the visitors, to find out how they prepare, what's important to them, and how they choose of whom they visit and what they would like to see from you as companies taking and participating at EuroTier. We're sharing those information with you afterwards so that they will help you to organize, to prepare everything that really helps your visitors. What I said initially, think from your customer. Begin to think what your customer wants really is put into action here with our generic survey made available to you for your own preparations. One of our projects to attract quality, to attract top buyers and top farmers of the global industry is our Agri-Leaders Club. It's a hosted buyer program to make sure that the right people and the market leaders of the animal husbandry industry are coming and visiting Hanover. So we're inviting them and we're pampering them with the entire VIP and VIP package that there is to make sure they are at the fair, they're visiting Hanover, and you have the chance to approach them and even to invite them to your stand. Make sure that they are aware that you are there. One more option to raise awareness is also awards. We have seen initially that innovations, information on innovation is the #1 visiting goal for trade show visitors. So use that knowledge and put it into action by entering for innovation awards. And that way you make sure you jump onto the train to the press and media coverage, to the on-site events, and also to the follow-up coverage that goes along with these 3 well-known awards. First, in this category, there is our AgriFuture Concept winner. So if your product or if your service is not quite market ready yet, but has the potential to really be a great innovation in the future for the industry, then you can enter in this category to still benefit from all the coverage that our awards are providing to the industry. And coming from our awards and what it is that you can do and what it is that you personally and proactively need to do in order to get the best possible outcome, here's what we have already done for you. This is our basic media entry that is automatically included for everyone that already registers and that still will register. That is supposed to support your digital but also your on-site appearance and make sure you have the best possible outset to communicate within the industry. So first of all, we're going with our exhibitors list. Our exhibitors list on the website is live prior to the event for visitors to get informed, to browse, and to make sure that they can plan their trip through. Our trade show app with any sort of like smartphone device available always in real time, live on site, gives you the full calendar of everything that's going on, every exhibitor, all those events, live streams, network, whatever there is getting scheduled in. And then we have our platform, our 365-day DLG Connect. We started the project with EuroTier Digital in 21, and now DLG Connect is our DLG community platform for all our events. So EuroTier will move on to and highlight its topics from October to December. So that is the perfect timing because our pre-press conference takes place in September. There we'll announce awards winners and runner-ups. So afterwards, that DLG Connect platform is getting started with building up the anticipation towards the event. The basic entry, that is already, as I said, automatically included and available to you, can be upgraded with a premium company profile and further extras such as events, live streams, on-demand events, and advertising are also available then to book in the exhibitor service portal that is available after stand confirmation. I would like to take a few more minutes to explain two other products that are included in our basic media entry, that is Scan to Lead. Scan to Lead is classic digital lead tracking at the fair on your stand. After each and every visitor registers digitally and they are entering the premises, they're getting their badge printed out, and with that badge comes a QR code that you are now able to scan with your mobile. You get one license, every exhibitor gets one license already included in your basic media entry. And with that device, with that license, you can scan visitors' barcodes and therefore just get digital business cards. But stick in your own notes as well and share them with members of your team. Take them home to put them into your contact lists. Scan to Lead is also or does come with some upgrades that you're able to book, whether that is hardware for extra devices or scanning those little scanning trackers. Here on the right-hand side, you can see a solution that is an info point where visitors scan themselves. So in case they don't have time for a quick talk even just or to stop by, or they can't find what they're looking for, they're able to scan themselves and type in their request, their question, and then that flies into your inbox and you can take the time and get in touch with them and answer their request directly. One full license, as I just said, comes automatically included, and then extra licenses can be bought at an extra price. So that way you are getting started with one member of the team, and for every additional member of the team, whether that is your sales department or the entire stand crew, can then scan and track in those digital business cards. Another upgrade, a dashboard. A dashboard is always great for your analysis afterwards. Where do my exhibitors come from? With all the data that is within the system from their own registration, we are able to help you here and share those information with their business card to help you get your business onto the next level. And second, within our basic media entry is DLG Mixie points. DLG Mixie points are based on very simple QR technology. That's not so new, but what's new is that they are tracing backwards. So you as an exhibitor, you get an unlimited amount of QR codes that you can produce, and you put company information, product information, whatever language you can think of behind those QR codes that you place on your exhibits. So visitors go and scan their information. That way they don't have to carry more and more print products, and you don't have to print those brochures. What's new is that you are able to track and trace those scans. You can see who scanned what and how many times did they open it, did they download the document, and that way you can see which products do perform really well at the show and are getting the best and the highest interest, and which products are maybe not getting as many scans. What people who is maybe more interested in a particular product of yours, that would be an indication. For example, if they open it a couple times on the same day or within a few days, if they're downloading it, maybe to also share it with others. Your sales team should go to and contact those visitors directly to see maybe they have more questions, maybe they can follow up. That way you actively generate that lead and get in touch, maybe even without ever having spoken to one another at the show, just with the scan and with the opportunity for you to now get to know of who took your info, who took your brochure. With the print version, first of all, you have printing deadlines. Here, digitally, you can always amend, you can swap and change and just play with your information that you are making available. You have no longer to print, even with today's paper prices. That could also be an advantage. And you don't have to store, you don't have to organize the entire logistics to get lots of paper back and forwards towards the show. The visitor doesn't need to carry it all, and you all are getting more info about one another. Upgrades that are also available for Mixie enable you with the Basis Plus package to download those lead sales as a database, as a CSV document to implement into your own CRM. With the professional package, then you get the entire analytics report as well of how often, from where, and therefore can interpret those data and are able to rank and to include, to conclude your own trade success by yourself on how your products worked for the industry. This is what it could look like. This is Multivac at Anuga Foodtech last week in Cologne. Throughout the stand, they have placed roll-up-like info tables basically next to each machine. This is a little packaging machine here with just short text, but always made up the same, so that the visitor gets the idea on the stand concept on where there is information available for them to scan. And you just basically use your smartphone and you get all the information digitally here onto your device. So it's a great potential. I hope you can see this potential and put it into use. I think we'll all benefit from it, because that is a joint effort. The more Mixie points, the more QR codes are visible throughout the show, the more visitors are getting used to it, and the better it works for everyone involved. So that's it for today's first exhibitor briefing. I'm opening up the round for more questions. Chris.
Thank you. And thank you for a very active chat room. Let's go back to the trade fair and planning your presence there. So you mentioned about having events at your stand. What about catering? How does catering work? What do our exhibitors need to do to prepare themselves to offer food and beverages at their stand?
Everything as usual is a straight answer. Obviously, it helps if you keep all those little things a little bit in the back of your mind that we have been getting used to for the past 2 years. So it is helpful if, for example, food or drink is served in little units and package units, but everything from a seating arrangement to a bar table arrangement is possible where food and drinks are served. It is obviously, and it always has been, a hygienic protocol that is in place, but that is not changed now to what it was beforehand. The easiest way to organize that is to book a professional catering service to make sure they know what they're talking about and they're taking care of the entire catering at your stand, and you will be sorted.
One specific question that we got from one of our exhibitors. So now that they've created their really nice designs and banners hanging from the roof, are they allowed to record videos on the fairground at their stands and then use it further for their marketing activities? What is our current policy or best practices on that front?
For recordings, any type of media recordings at your stand, everything as always, you are free to do what you choose. For recordings, videos, photos from within the venue, within the halls, you contact our press and media team to get approval and get signed off, and then you're flying.
Excellent. We need to talk a little bit more about the Innovation Awards.
Okay.
Very briefly, from start to finish with a few timelines, how do you select the awards? When do you have to put in your selection? And how does that procedure go from start to finish?
Okay. Thank you very much. We are talking more intensely about Innovation Awards in one of our later briefings, but that doesn't mean that I can outline the generic milestones. So what's happening now? First, at the end of May, after you have received your stand confirmation, means you know where your location is and that you're approved to the show, our exhibitor service portal opens. There you can select and book any additional services that you might need or products. You can also register, enter your innovations to be considered for the Innovation Awards. That's all within the same exhibitor service portal to be done. So opens at the end of May after you have received your stand confirmation, and then you have time till the end of July to complete your registration. After that, our jury will look through all the products and services, concepts, ideas, products that have been put forward, and will select a winner, which then, as I previously mentioned, will be announced at the pre-press conference on 21st of September. Perfect timing for you to then use that event, being named winner at the pre-press conference, to get already that very first jizz of the press, to get into the media, to make aware of your company and of your innovation.
We have one question at this point. So hypothetically, if one of our exhibitors has brought an innovation to market, it is in the market late last year or early this year, which award is it eligible for? Will that be the AgriFuture concept? Will it be in the Innovation Awards, or will it be both?
We have on our website, I didn't bring it with me today, but on our website you can find very specific information on what state of process of product design, of product development and market entry, which product is eligible for which award. So please feel free to, you know best about your product and what stage you're in, to visit our website. Also, all the rules and regulations for participation on the Innovation Awards, everything is displayed there. If you still remain with a few questions, contact us directly and we will be happy to assist you with that specific case.
Final question about Mixie points. Our exhibitors or our participants would maybe like to know once again, as an exhibitor, what do they need to do to use Mixie? So, from start to finish. Mm-hmm. And then how does it work for the customers who come and visit their stands and actually see a QR code?
So your job is, now that you know that Mixie is available and it's for you already included in your booked participation, do yourself a favor and make use of it, at least try. You can take any information that you would have or that you would plan to bring to EuroTier and upload a PDF. You create a Mixie point, you make sure that you label it correctly, and those two, the document and the QR code, are connected. And then, last but not least, you have to make the QR code visible, presentable to the visitors. So put it in an outline, put it in a layout, place it on the exhibit or at your stand, at the counter, at a back wall, wherever it is best visible and wherever it approaches and it makes people want to scan it, make them curious. And, well, that would help as well. Try to cut back maybe on your own print documents. The less print we all use, especially during a fair such as EuroTier, the better it is for the environment. You don't have the hassle in creating, printing, and organizing transport, and then always making sure that you have the right language at the stand. Everything is just digitally, very fast, very easy to use, and the more exhibitors participate and use Mixie points as an actual alternative to print documents, the better the visitors will accept this new technology and actually scan to get to the information.
That's right. So just to add to that, as the exhibitor, you have a portal where you can create your QR codes, and the visitor, all they need to do is use whatever handheld device that they have, mostly their smartphone, to scan the Mixie point, this QR code, and then they receive your information. That's about it from the chat room. Please do send us more questions if you have it via the chat or per email, and we will do our best to send you some answers to it.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. As explained earlier, we have recorded this session and will make it available shortly hereafter. Until later, have a great day. Bye.
Es sind die Innovationen, die